Alright, hi everyone. I have finally finished another unit of the Ottomans. These are gönüllü. This is from my With Fire and Sword skirmish set. And they are pretty much done. The only thing, I just finished brushing some wash on the bases to try and make the rocks a little more brown, but didn't quite work out. But anyway, so it's two units of 9. The only thing they need is the banners and the glue I have, which says it's super glue, but it's kind of like it's not like liquid. It's kind of sticky. It doesn't really work for setting the spears or the lances in the figure's hands, so I gotta go get like regular super glue to do that. But other than that, that'll be a quick job of just adding the lance and the flag on to give these guys their banners. So yeah, they're 15mm scale. I did a mix of these model railroad sand and grass for the base. That's the best I could get. And I think they turned out okay. I went a little heavy on the wash, which doesn't always work, especially the whites. It makes them look kind of dirty, but I think they look okay. I went with a bunch of different colors because these cavalrymen are tended to be like volunteers, basically. Kind of I don't remember what the term gönüllü means actually, but I can't remember, but basically they're kind of like a raiding cavalry, which is why they're kind of modeled the way they are here. You've got bows and they've got swords, but even the guys with swords have bows. They should. Maybe I didn't paint it correctly, but they have a bow. They would have, a bow holstered on their back. The Turkish archery equipment, I think it's pretty smart the way they had it designed with these two kind of like basically holster things, with one for the arrows, one for the actual bow itself. I've been thinking about when I get back to the U.S. trying out some Turkish archery, but that's a whole other hobby, so we'll see. So like I said, I mean, they're kind of dirty looking because these Vallejo washes are kind of heavy, but yeah, I mean, I could probably touch up the headdresses a bit, maybe. I mean, but I think these are, this Wargamer Poland range, nicely sculpted, nice, good quality 15mm figures, metal figure plastic horse. And then before I started filming, I had just finished. These are 2 Spahi, so these would have been the provincial feudal cavalry. You would have had like one of these guys would have been like the actual landowner, and he would have brought with him a certain number of retainers, usually. And then there were also some cavalry like this stationed at the palace, but they're the Kapakulu. For these guys, I tried to make their barding a little more ornate. I'm not very good at this kind of freehand stuff, so I just did like a dots pattern for his and decided to do some red stripes on a blue kind of barding for his horse. It turned out okay, I guess. But as you can see, he's got chainmail. This other guy doesn't have, is not armored, and that would have been pretty common actually, because these guys had to come up with their own money to get equipment and stuff like that, and you know, they're dependent on kind of the income from their estate. So if it's not productive, you know, they're probably not going to be very wealthy. Yeah, and so the way this, and I got the rest of these started, but the way the box set is designed is it gives you enough to make like a unit with carrying lances, and they all have the arms, so the lance is up, which I appreciate. I don't really like having the pikes or lances on miniatures in an attacking position, because it just makes transporting them kind of a pain. But yeah, so it's like a unit with lances, and then a unit that is mixed, that's swords basically. So I got this other couple guys started, and they've got chainmail, and the unit, like I said, it'll be a mix of, some guys have the chainmail, some guys don't. And as you can see, actually I should show the fully painted guys. They also carried bows. So, you know, in terms of like, if you wanted to, actually this guy does not have his bow, but this guy does. You know, in terms of like, if you wanted to like war game, you know, write some war game rules for Ottomans, you know, that you would want to make sure the cavalry could do, you know, would have multiple attack options. So yes, they can charge with swords and do, you know, kind of a frontal assault, but they could also throw lances or shoot arrows, you know, with some shooting. So they didn't really fit kind of a hard dichotomy of like light, heavy, medium cavalry. They all kind of, you know, they did kind of all those rules more or less. So just something to note if you want to do, you know, Ottoman themed wargaming. But I mean, of course, like, you know, a lot of cavalry from this period, 16th, 17th century, was multifunction, so it wasn't necessarily, you know, a unique Ottoman thing. Okay, and then after that, after I get all of these done, and I have to admit, after painting these 15 millimeter, I can paint these a lot quicker than I can 28 millimeter. I'm really actually happy about that, because I haven't really liked these last few months, like figures piling up unpainted. And especially because I've got a lot to do. But I have, after I finish all of these cavalry for this Ottoman set, I've got to do the command stand, which is like 3 figures. So, you know, that won't take very long at all. And then I can start hopefully on the poles, because I've got I've got the Polish skirmish set from Wargamer Poland, which is obviously Polish units, but I also picked up, while I was there, a unit of Lithuanian cavalry, and I got a couple 2 packs of the Polish infantry that I've shown. So I did a video showing that stuff when I bought it, if you want to take a look. And then after that, I think I should have 2 decent armies for doing Ottoman Polish wars. The figures are sculpted for like the late 17th century, but just doing a little research, it doesn't seem like these figures would be that out of place like in the late 16th century or a battle that I'm thinking about wargaming in the future, maybe as a convention game, is the Battle of Setsora in 1621, which I did a video on actually, if you want to watch that, but it would work. The only thing really, and this is really small and kind of just a piece of trivia really, is some of these Turkish horses have pistols on them, and I don't know if I have the I don't know if I have one out that's like that. Yeah, like this guy has the pistol holsters. It's really no big deal. You know, it's just a little detail, but that's kind of the only thing as far as I know that would be out of place, because Ottoman cavalry, as far as we can tell, didn't really use pistols until like late 17th century, early 18th century. So I mean, that would be perfect for the period that you know, these figures are sculpted for a little before. It just wasn't really in use, and I don't know, I haven't seen any Ottoman paintings actually that show cavalry with pistols. So it doesn't mean it didn't happen, just not really widespread. But like I said, this is something really small. It's really no big deal. And that would be more of a rules thing anyway. You know, if you wanted to do one of these Ottoman Polish wars, you know, early 17th century, like Setsora, you know, you wouldn't want the cavalry to have, you know, pistols or firearms or something like that, but they do have bows. So, yeah, that's what I've got going on. I didn't quite make my painting goals, because before Easter I wanted to have all of these finished, but you know, real life happens, and you know, you can't put real life on the back burner to paint miniatures. So after that, after I get all these done, because I still have more cavalry, more of these Ottoman cavalry up in my cabinet here above my desk. So after I get everything painted, I can move on, like I said, to the poles, and I think that'll look nice when I can get the Ottomans and the Polish-Lithuanian soldiers, you know, lined up, because I also have the Ottoman infantry I showed on the channel. So yeah, I think another thing about these Wargamer miniatures is you get a pretty decent amount, even in just like a blister pack, which is good, especially the infantry, because you get a pretty large amount of infantry. So, okay. Well, this video has kind of gone on a little longer than I would have liked, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the information. And if you're still watching, I've considered, you know, maybe doing some kind of like Q&A episode in the future, or at some point, about you know, like how to do like Ottoman military history, but you know, so you can do it in wargaming. So I don't know if you have like a question like that. I could do something like that. So all right, well, I hope you liked it, and I'll talk to you guys next video.